Hey everyone, wanted to jump back on here and give you some more tips to help take care of your marriage. We say this all the time. Marriage is a priority here at FBC Allen because we believe that strong marriages make for strong families and strong families make for strong churches. And so today I wanted to address the issue of anger in your marriage. I want to read a passage of scripture to you, James chapter 1, verse 19, and it says this: everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And there's a lot of things that we could talk about there in that Bible passage, but I want to just talk just for a second about the slow to anger part. Now, under normal circumstances, this might be your fuse, okay? This is kind of your fuse before you kind of blow up or before you get super angry. This is kind of how long it is. But right now, in quarantine, right now under all this stress, right now under all of this unknown, we don't know what's going on, and we're with our families way more than what we used to be. Our schedules are way off. Everything is so different, and we're under financial strain, all kinds of unknowns. This might be your fuse now. So your fuse is a lot shorter because of the stress, because of the unknown, because of the anxiety, because of the depression, because of all of these things. And so we just have to be real careful, and we have to be mindful of our anger. And so I just want to give you some tips really quick to really watch out for the anger in your marriage, or just watch out for the anger in your home. And again, this is about you. Now don't take this and go, ooh, my spouse really needs to hear this. Just take this in for yourself. Like we say in Re-Engage. If you've never been through Re-Engage, by the way, you should go through. It's a great ministry. But anyway, in Re-Engage, we say draw a circle around yourself and work on everyone in that circle. And so draw a circle around yourself when you're thinking about this anger issue and work on everyone in that circle. And the first thing I want to tell you is what is at the root of your anger. And you might say, well, Jimmy, anger is at the root of my anger. Well, maybe, but it could be a lot of things. It could be an unmet expectation. It could be anger. Could be as a result of maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling anxious. You're feeling worried. You're worried about finances. You're worried about your job. It could be that you're tired. It could be that all kinds of things, and the way that it manifests itself is through anger. And so you really have to take a look at, why am I angry? Why is this emotion coming out? And it's something you need to deal with. Now, I'm not saying you should suppress it, but I just think you need to get at the root of the anger, because anger could be a lot of things. It could be embarrassment. It could be fear. It could be feeling neglected. You could feel alone. Maybe even though despite you and your spouse are together more often than you have been lately, you still feel disconnected. So what is it at the root of my anger? And I need to really check that and take a look at that. Another thing I would say is your anger response. Is it appropriate? Sometimes we just fly off the handle without ever thinking about what's going on. And sometimes we may make a mountain out of a molehill, and just under normal circumstances, maybe that little something, whatever it was, wouldn't bother you, but because of the stress that we're under, because of our circumstances right now, everything seems to be magnified. Everything seems to be bigger than what it really is. And so I would just ask yourself, before I respond, before I lash out at my spouse or discuss this with my spouse, is this something that I just need to be careful? I need to monitor and just make sure that your response is going to be appropriate. And the other thing I would say is, do you have an outlet? We all need an outlet to deal with our emotions. One of those outlets is to talk about it. Talk about it with your spouse. And I would say also talk about it with a trusted friend, someone who loves your marriage and cares about your marriage. Guys, this would definitely you would want this to be another guy. Ladies, do you want this to be another lady? Maybe one of your best friends, someone that you're super close to and that you trust with this information. But again, someone who loves your marriage, not someone who's going to take your side, but someone who really loves your marriage. We need an outlet. Another outlet is just, exercise is a great outlet to deal with what's going on inside of you. Maybe journaling. maybe art, maybe just all kinds of different things to kind of get out what you're feeling in a way to kind of vent your frustrations. But be careful for those unhealthy outlets. You don't want to trade something that's unhealthy for something that's even more unhealthy, like pornography or alcohol or isolation or other bad habits. You don't want to replace those, but you do need some sort of outlet to kind of get rid of what's inside of you, because you don't want to hold it up. You don't want to store it up, because the longer that you store it up, the bigger it builds and the bigger the explosion will be when you finally do, when your emotions finally do bust out. And the last thing I would say real quickly is just to pray. Pray about what you're thinking, pray about what you're feeling, and get guidance from the Lord. The scripture said in James we need to be slow to anger. And I think it's kind of backwards for a lot of us right now. We're real quick to get angry. We see something that doesn't look like the way it's supposed to look to us, didn't go the way that we thought it should go, didn't meet our expectations or whatever, and we're quick to jump on that. And what's sad is sometimes the people that we hurt the most are the people that we love the most, our spouses. So just remember, watch your anger. I know we're under a lot of stress. I know there's a lot happening in our world, and it's affecting all of us in a big, big way. But let's just make sure that we don't take it out on the people that are closest to us. Let's make sure that we love one another, love our spouses the way Christ would want us to love. And remember, don't forget to give yourself some grace too. You're not going to be perfect. No one is perfect. Jesus was perfect and He was the only one. So give yourself a little bit of grace, but also understand, check your emotions. Make sure that what is really at the root of my anger? What's going on here? Is my response appropriate? How can I vent this without hurting the people I love? And most importantly, I want to take my anger to the Lord, because I don't want to do anything that would dishonor Him, and I don't want to do anything that would dishonor the person that He has given to me as my spouse. I hope you'll take some of these and put these into practice. Remember, always comment below with some of the things that help you deal with your anger. And always, always, always remember to take care of your marriage.